Hello, and welcome back to Amateur Philosophers Play Games. I'm Noah, your host.
I'm Justin, the gamer.
And this is the show where we play video games and discuss philosophical ideas, problems, and philosophize about random topics. So Justin, we're playing Breath of the Wild here, and as you can see, dear audience, maybe you can't see from this screen, but Justin actually made it to the first Divine Beast, which is, when you beat this, you will be about a quarter of the way done with the game. Actually, more like a fifth of the way done with the game, which is cool because it means lots more content for us, and yeah, good times.
Yeah, I've been at this for a while. You know, it's taking me a little time. I'm just trying to, stock up that way I don't die. What's his face?
I think you're fine. You can just go in right now. Like you got to do some puzzles first, right? This is a Zelda game. You can't go.
Sure. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
okay.
Heal up. And here we go. But anyway, dear viewers, I'm sure you're not here to watch Justin navigate the...
I don't know what I'm doing, but...
You killed him. Easy. Yay, look, Ganon is dead. High rolls.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Let's go. Thank you for watching.
That wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
Yes. If only. No, what actually we're here to talk about today is kind of an odd topic, but I think it's worth thinking about. The philosophy of science. Now, you may look at that and say, but Noah, Justin, science and philosophy aren't the same thing. That's like talking about the philosophy of, I don't know, food, which, now that I think about it, that would be kind of fun to do sometime, but that's not what we're here.
Don't worry, Michael. We'll respect the sciences, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll respect the sciences. And science is an important part of our daily life. I mean, you are presumably watching this on YouTube or some other service. We're recording this using technology that's all been developed thanks to the efforts of many scientists refining their science over the past, I mean, I suppose you could trace it back thousands of years, but for the Industrial Revolution, say, past a couple hundred years. So yeah, we hear, a lot about, you have to follow the science or trust the science, or what is science? So what are we talking about here? When people make these big grandiose claims, what do we mean?
All right, so what is science? Well, it's funny that we have, that people have that idea that science and philosophy are not the same or, are completely different fields. Because originally, philosophy was called it was the physical sciences. That's what philosophy was.
See, you had that door behind you. Look back, turn around.
Whoa.
Yeah, pro tip. Try putting an ice block.
Oh yeah, the ice, right? I can do ice?
Yes.
Yeah, not on me though. I'm smart. I figured that out all on my own. I didn't need help.
You're so good at this
game.
Anyway.
So if you read older books like one of my favorites, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Victor is he goes to school to study the physical sciences, which was just medicine and other things like that. Or the philosophy of natural philosophy is what it was called. That's what
that was the title they used back. Frankenstein was 18th century, so a few hundred years ago.
And if you read Isaac Newton's where he establishes the 3 laws of force. Is that what it is?
Yes.
An object in motion will stay in motion. Object at rest will stay at rest. All of those. It's called the philosophy of something. Yeah. Because philosophy is just the fancy way of saying, I need to think about this thing.
You've obtained the map of the Divine Beast.
And so science eventually, I think we've talked about before how science all came from philosophy. They were just different branches, and then eventually there was enough people that studied it, and they got more information on it. And then
all of the terminals.
Okay, I have to activate terminals. Be careful. Okay.
Yeah. So I see how.
So I have to go to all these glowing points.
You have your little mini map in the corner. Yeah, those are where you have to get to. And also, real quick, let me just show you, because if you don't know this, you'll leave here. Open up your. It'll basically be the same button for the map, I think. Yeah. So see how. Use the left button. See how you can Yeah. See those? Click one of them. Just.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what?
Just click A or something, and then to activate it. I don't. Yeah. I can't read the. Maybe B. I don't know. Whatever it says.
Oh, move tracker. Execute.
Yeah. So now if you look at your little trunk map, see the trunk is moving up. So, ooh, fancy.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'm sure that'll become relevant.
That will become relevant at some point.
Okay,
But anyway, yes.
So I think we talked before about how, eventually you get enough people to study it, and you find information, then it becomes its own separate branch of, like, say, chemistry or biology or medicine. Right. And so similarly, in this case, science still has elements of those, I don't want to call them, philosophical roots. Because eventually, if you get high enough up into really any discipline, you end up with a PhD, which is just a doctorate of philosophy of whatever you have. So, now that I've learned how to use the shield, it's really helpful.
Yeah, shield. not getting hurt is a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. This sword's about to die, so I'm gonna just like So eventually you get a PhD, and so really, your end goal is to just get back into the abstract concepts that like started the field. So eventually you end up with like weird. I'm sure you're much better at, or much more qualified to talk about it with mathematics. But there are still mathematical concepts that are basically you're just playing around with like what's the word? Things that you don't know can happen. Like it's all theoretical mathematics. That's the thing, right?
Right. Yeah, which a lot of high-level mathematics is theoretical, but it has application. So I agree. I think science and philosophy are more related than people think of these days. But they are, especially now in modern days, we have their greater divergence. They are distinct in their own ways. Like, so I think it would be unfair to say science is only philosophy. They're related, certainly. Or you could maybe say science is a branch of philosophy. But when people speak of philosophy in modern day, and even when we do in this channel, we typically aren't referring to the same sort of things as chemistry and physics and biology and things like that. So we should make we've talked about in an episode prior, what is philosophy? If this episode is going to be what is science, we should at least acknowledge that it's not the same thing. Exactly.
No. Science is like much more of a refined. I guess you could say like you kind of said it. The science is philosophy in application.
Yeah, in many ways.
Like once you have science like doing, or once you have philosophy doing something, it's no longer armchair philosophy. You've now created a science. Congratulations. Name it what you want.
Yeah. Maybe like behind you?
Maybe. I don't want to get you. Okay, this guy. Coward.
Oh, I think it might let you inside.
Yeah, I think I have to throw a bomb. I'm gonna go for a bomb.
Yeah. Anyway, so what is science? Well, in my definition, from what I've heard, again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm interested in this stuff. Science is the study of the natural world. Okay? Seems like a simple enough definition, whereas philosophy would be...
study of...
knowledge.
Study of knowledge.
Sure.
Oh, not like that.
Not like that. Well...
I forgot how to throw it. Oh, no.
I think just A...
Maybe. I think that's how you set it down. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Oh, I might die a few more times, but we'll figure it out, guys. We're all in this together.
Where do you respawn? Like, how much progress does it save? Do you still...
Absolutely none.
Hold on. I think you still have control of the thing, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to re-go back and get that one terminal, which is nice.
Oh, okay. And I guess the enemies stay dead. Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, what's this down here?
Oh, big open room. Can you... That's like an orange thing you can interact with, right?
I don't know. Yeah, right.
See, like, look, there's a little shade.
Yeah. Examine. So anyway, science, you were saying,
right, is the
study of the natural world. And
yes.
That would mean that philosophy is the study of the unnatural world?
Let's put a pin in trying to define philosophy, because I think that's a little trickier. But we can define science pretty well. So science, because philosophy I think one of the big differences between the two is that science, you can use experiments. And in fact, science progresses almost entirely through experimentation. Whereas philosophy, it's harder to experiment on. It's harder to run experiments on what is morality. Whereas in science, you very easily can say, well,
I mean, it's not that hard. It's a little immoral to figure out what morality is, but...
the paradox, yes. But the point is...
I mean, you could, you know? Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not here trying to say we should, oh, what's that?
I think it's underwater. Gotta...
Can I swim down there? Oh, I have to drain it, I'm sure.
Maybe. But look, it's not... Hold on. Is there like a... Look around? Let's look up, I think. Oh, see, hold on. See those gears over there? Those gears?
Yeah.
Try magneting them. I wonder if you can do that.
Ooh, okay. Let's do that. Nope. There we go. Oh, what's this? Now I can... Alright, okay. How do I want to...
Hey, there you go.
This is not difficult in any way, shape, or form.
No, this is very natural.
No.
Okay, easy does it. I'll keep experimenting while, oh, there you go. I think it's up.
Okay.
Let's see, now the thing is...
Yay! Okay,
Yay.
so science.
Yes,
Sorry.
you can do
Sorry,
experiments. So,
folks.
for example, the science operates through the scientific method, which, among other things, involves you make observations about the world. So you say,
There are 4
I'll
terminals
use the
remaining.
most, not the
Don't
most
give
basic,
up.
but I'll use the very basic one that, hey, I've observed that when I drop a thing, and when things appear in a tall height and they're suspended, they fall to the ground, right?
Okay.
That's an observation I've made in the world. So now you form a hypothesis. The hypothesis might be there is something that makes it so when you drop an object that is not supported, it falls to the ground. And then you do experimentation. You try to experiment in as many ways. So what happens if you do support the thing? Like if you hang it from a chain? What happens if the thing you drop is lighter than air? What happens if it's heavier than air? Does the shape matter? You try to eliminate all the different variables one at a time, not multiple times. You try to eliminate all the variables in as controlled a way as possible. And then once you succeed, if you succeed, you can maybe draw a pattern and say, hey, I can now come up with a hypothesis or a theory that objects dropped from midair fall to the ground. And then you can try to examine, okay, why is that? Well, you do... Okay, now you say, why is that? Well, you can do more experimentation. Perhaps there's pixies who don't like things hanging in the air, so like they grab the thing and pull it to the ground every time. Perhaps.
No. I'm much more on the flat earthers. You know, we're just on a disc floating, flying through space, and so like it's pushing.
So you
That's why.
get the point. Basically, science, you make observations, come up with hypotheses, test the hypothesis, come up with a theory, and then based on that, you make more observations, which make more hypotheses, and so on and so forth. And you continuing on, you try to discover more and more about the natural world. So that's cool. Science is very cool if you study the thought of it. And now there is something interesting to think about that. Science is, like I've said, is primarily observation, right? It would be... Yes, so I actually, side note, no, not exactly a side note, but I want to go on a little tangent. If in the audience, you may or may not be familiar with the idea of deduction versus induction, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'll explain it. Basically, deduction is where you have many options and you try to narrow it down to the one correct option. And induction is where you have basically a set number of clues and you try to expand outward to find the answer.
Which one is it that Sherlock Holmes did? That's usually how I used to remember it. Like he would gather observations and then from there deduce a conclusion, right?
Yeah, which honestly is actually more induction than not, but that's the point. So for example, deduction, a cleaner observation would be, let's say you have 100 baseballs in a pile and you're looking for a specific one. Okay, so this specific one, you know it has a stain on it, so you can remove all of the ones that don't have stains. You know this one, the stitching isn't ripped, so you can remove all the ones where the stitching is ripped, and you deduce downward. Induction would be saying, okay, I'm thinking of something. It's round, it's white, It has red stitches on it, and then you collect these and induce that, oh, you're talking about a baseball.
Okay.
So that side note aside, it's interesting. Science, to my observation, and from what I can tell, uses both induction and deduction. So you basically, the forming of a hypothesis, you look at all these little theory, or all these little observations you've made about the natural world and try to induce a hypothesis. And then the hypothesis often has various possibilities. Ooh.
That did something, I think.
I think you might have to rotate this. Oh, what's this?
I tried the magnet. The magnet didn't do anything, so.
What happens if you do mess with the elephant's trunk right now?
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's figure out what happens when I mess with the elephant's trunk. Move trunk.
Yeah, I think you can like go left and right or up and down. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, I see.
I don't think I'm in the trunk.
No, you're not. Try moving it all the way up. I think that might do something. Sorry, viewers. We are a bit more distracted by the game because this is a bit more, like, not complicated. This is a bit more puzzle solving than what it has been before, which was sort of a lot of killing things and walking around.
Yeah, but you know, I feel like we're still carrying a pretty decent conversation. I mean,
yeah.
So, well, I guess like this is. Oh, well, oh, you did it. Noah, you're so smart. Look at you, man. You got
Thanks.
this. Although now I think I'm gonna be. Oh, what? Oh, Shenmue.
Dude,
I'm supposed to be up here.
I don't know. Just wander around and see if you can figure.
You know, it's almost like we're
wait,
doing
is
an
that
experiment.
is that in there? Or is there something in that cage?
Yeah, it's the tablet thing.
Oh, well then yeah, I think you have to figure out how to get in there somehow using the.
Yeah, I thought I was hitting stuff, and that would do it.
Oh, I see. I wonder if so how it spins around, the ball falls into the little hole thing. So does that open up the cage when it falls in?
I don't know. I feel like I need to break whatever this is. There's like a box or something.
Whatever. Yeah, so science, and then once you have the hypothesis, you try to find all the variables and eliminate them, performing deduction to find your answer. So, neat little thing. I'm not entirely sure that's true. If there's any philosophers of science out there in the audience who want to correct me, please feel free. But, yeah. Science. And that's very cool. So, science, we can learn about the natural world. Now, that raises the question, what is the natural world? Well, Justin, what is the natural world? Why don't you tell us?
Oh, what is the natural world? Well, I guess. Okay, so I mean, obviously, if you're saying there's a natural world, that implies that there's an unnatural world, right?
I don't know if it necessarily implies that, but it does imply if there were an unnatural world, it would be different from the natural world, if that makes sense.
Yes, and different in what way? What way is important?
Ah, that's the thing.
Did I do it? Keep going. I'm talking to myself.
I think it might like open and shut as it rotates.
It did, and I thought it was open when I jumped down here.
Okay. Yeah. So I think one interesting thought is the natural versus the unnatural world, or maybe we should call it the supernatural world, because unnatural is not exactly the same thing, but close. But I think the natural world we could say is, well, the observable things. For example, what you can touch, what you can see and taste, and things that you can observe with your senses. And, of course, your aided senses. Like, I can't naturally see the details of Mars's face, but with the aid of a telescope, I can. So, you know, I would still count that under the natural world. And same thing, humans can't normally see a bacterium, but with the aid of a microscope, we can. So that still falls under that. Oh, there it is. Oh.
I don't know if this is how I was supposed to do it, but this is how I'm doing it.
Hey, I think you got it.
I think Jerry's gonna be he's gonna be like shaking his head. Like,
nope.
It took you that long.
You're the hero of Hyrule. Nobody said you had to be good at heroing. I think you have, okay, so there should be 2 terminals left. I believe it's 4 terminals, and then there's like the central. There's the central one in that big room you went to before.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I still don't get is like this thing still like it lets me do the glowy thing. So
I wonder if like can you maybe Oh, maybe you can like move the one of the bricks and get at the treasure chest. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. Okay, so let's.
But yeah,
I want the trunk to stop. Stop doing. Stop trunking.
stop trunking. Yeah. So, what else can we say about the natural world? I think also, yeah, things you can.
So I guess okay. So
things you can experiment on.
so-
I think is a one possible definition.
Well, I think taking into account what you said about like microscopes and things like that, like it's just it's observable, right? Anything that is
Right.
observable is the natural world.
Yes. There we go. Observable. That's the term.
Now, things such as, like you said,
Like if you hit it, you could maybe hit it up and then up.
let's see. I don't know. I think let's see how that works. Okay, I think if I hit it hard enough, it'll break. It'll like shoot up and then
Yeah,
fall
it'll
down
shoot up
with
and then
something.
either fall out or give you a chance to grab the treasure. Whatever. One of those two. But oh, I think so.
I gotta wait.
No, hold on. Yeah. But that does imply that a lot of the things we've been talking about in our in our show previously, let's say for example, real throwback to the real ones know the trolley problem, right? That's not the question of the trolley problem is what should you do? And that's not really observable in the same way that you can observe light or water or the insides or the biology of a person or a bacteria or a star or anything like that. So it seems like a different category of knowledge, if you will. Also, I think that's where in very interesting mathematics, again, you might even make as a third category, whereas mathematics, you can observe patterns in numbers, but you can't really like observe that in nature as a sense. These are interesting definitions to try to make, but yeah.
Well, I think, like, for instance, like, we can't observe gravity, right? But we would still say, okay, yeah, I can observe the effects of gravity. So you can observe the effects of numbers, right? Like, oh, oops, sorry.
Can you?
Ouch,
I don't
that
know.
hurt. Well, I mean, like, if, for instance, if I say, well, I've got 2 apples, and then what happens if I remove 2 apples? Oh, look, I am left with no apples. Like,
Okay,
I think
sure.
I think economics would be a great way of like observing math in action.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I'm not entirely sure that's right, but I'm happy enough with that for now that I think we can keep that for now, and maybe we'll come back to it at some point. But yeah, but
Oh, no,
for
I'm dead.
example,
Oh.
morality, for example, you know us, Justin. We love talking about them ethics. Them ethics are real ethical,
Oh yeah, no.
but that's hard. That you can't really observe and make experimentations on. So, for example, you can make an experiment that says,
I disagree, sir.
Okay, well, hear me out. Let me make my point. Let's go back to my dropping a ball method. You have in science, you have 2 possibilities. You can make the hypothesis: if I'm holding a ball and I drop it, one hypothesis is that it will fall to the ground. The other hypothesis is that it will stay suspended in midair, right? Now, you can test this, right? Right now, I could go grab a ball, hold it, and drop it, and I could test which of these hypotheses comes true. And so we'll say, from our experience, the ball falls to the ground. Okay, we can pretty definitively eliminate one of those 2 options, right? Now, think back to the trolley problem. You can run the trolley problem, and one time the person throws the track to kill the one, and then the next time the person that throws the track to not kill them. Now, the question of the trolley problem is which should be done. And by doing both those scenarios,
you're making a normative claim.
Yes, you're making a normative claim. And by making those 2 scenarios, you've demonstrated that both are possible, but you haven't really demonstrated or experimented on which should be done, right? I think that's another interesting point. Science almost never deals with normative claims, right? We should define what that is, because that's not a common term. Normative claims are same side. This is what should happen, or what we ought to do, or how things should be. What's the other one?
I think it's just descriptive.
Descriptive, yeah. And descriptive claims are what is, and this is what is the case. So it is the case that when a person gets hit by a train, they are seriously injured or killed. The normative, that is a descriptive claim. The normative claim is, oh, we should try to avoid the maximum number of people getting killed. So that's I think that's actually, we've stumbled upon a very important distinction between science and philosophy. Philosophy deals with both descriptive and normative claims. Science, I'm pretty sure science almost never deals with normative. Science in its purest form is always a question of what is there, or what is the case. Now, this is where things get interesting, because you can use this information to come up with normative claims. So you can say, for example, let me think. We can use science to determine that if a person does not eat food, they will eventually cease existing or cease living, right? That's a object, or that is a descriptive.
That is a normative. That is a descriptive.
Yeah, I'm just describing the state of nature. Now, from that, you can make a normative claim that if you want to live, you should not, or you should eat, which is a advice. But I think it's important to realize that's not really science. That is applications of science, but it is not science. It's not observation.
You're doing something extra.
Yes, you are using the knowledge gained from science to. Oh, this is cool. Wait, is that a treasure chest up there?
Yeah, this is the same one from the trunk.
Oh, I see. Wait,
I just figured out I could stop the water from coming up, like, down there to stop that one rotating, and I wanted to see it.
Oh, smart. So now, maybe now you can hit it, or hit the metal block up?
Maybe first I want to move the trunk up, I think. And then I want it to rotate to where it's in a better position.
I see. So you'll have to, like, move it up and then stop it, and then, I see. Okay. Yeah, so that's what science doesn't make... doesn't say what you should do. It takes a human intelligence and a human interpretation to say what you should do based on the information from the science. So that's a good point. So I will say, I think this means you should, whenever someone says, oh, science says you should do X, you should be very careful, because what
science says doesn't say you should do anything.
Right, science doesn't say you should do anything. Science just, I think this is how you're supposed to get in, if you stopped it up here, but whatever.
Yeah.
Science doesn't say you should do anything. Scientists can say, we have used science to observe X, therefore you ought to do Y. But remember, that's making an induction of a sorts. And again, of course, scientists are human. The science might be fully accurate. Humans are known for being inaccurate on time. So just a word of caution to anyone out there who
Noah, are you denying science?
That's a good question.
Are you a science denier?
I think this is actually a big topic of the day, of the past. I mean, it's been a topic for quite some time, but especially true in the past few years. That's important to note. Because science makes observations, humans have to. If we're going to make recommendations based off of those, humans have to. And again, humans are fallible. Humans make mistakes quite often. So even if all the science is very, even if the whatchamacallit, observational, no, descriptive descriptions. Wow, that was a very descriptive description right there.
Yes.
Even if all the descriptive descriptions are accurate, you still have to. There's still room for human error in there. And that's just important to be aware of. And complicating that, the nature is big. There's a lot of nature, and things interact interestingly. Like we talk about in science, chemistry is distinct from biology, is distinct from physics, but they all interact with each other. For example, I'll use a really simple example. It's chemistry that when you light a piece of wood on fire, it starts to burn. Or would that be physics, actually? No, okay, that's chemistry.
Yes.
Physics, yes.
It's both.
Physics would be the heat causes the air to move, and then biology would be when that strong heat strikes a living body, it damages the body. So all the branches of science do interact, and it's convenient to split them up, but you have to remember they don't actually stay as neatly defined as you might think. So yes, that's a lot of rambling about that. What else can we say about science? We've made the description between descriptive and I keep using normative. I keep wanting to use a different set of terminology, but we should be consistent. That's a normative term, that we should be consistent.
True. Alright, hold on. Is it? It's not far enough. I want it to be sideways. I'm thinking that maybe if I get it to be sideways, then I can just
But you have to
it.
because it doesn't stop immediately when you move the trunk, you have to time it correctly. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh yes, I think there's one other. We should also continue to talk about where science and philosophy agree and where they shouldn't step on each other's toes. So, like we've talked about earlier, science doesn't really deal with ethics. For example, ethics is very much a study of what you should do. Science, as we've already established, doesn't do that, and that's fine. Just be aware that there is a distinction. And similarly, philosophy is often very theoretical about... At the end of the day, philosophy isn't super interested in... This might be a bold claim to make to a philosopher, but I don't think philosophy is very
tread
interested...
carefully, Noah.
Yeah, I'm not sure philosophy is super interested in testing its theories, whereas that's what science is all about. Because oftentimes the philosophical theories can't easily be tested. For example, the philosophical claim that free will exists. That's very difficult to test. But in a scientific setting, if you made a claim that... Basically, in science, if you make a claim that can't be tested, it's not science. But in philosophy, if you make a claim that can't be tested, as long as you can show how you made that claim based on information you have, it's usually it's usually worth considering at least. So in that way, science is often harder than philosophy. It's more tangible, more testable, which again can be good or bad.
I would encourage Noah. I would encourage you to remember our talk about how sciences got their start. The whole point of philosophy is you want to get to a point where you can test it. If you could test the trolley problem,
yes, if you could,
you would want to do that.
Don't misunderstand. It's not like philosophy is against testing. If you can, it's good to do that. But my point is, a lot of what we call philosophy today is either untestable or at least very difficult to test. It's very difficult to test what ethics what are real ethics, right? We can philosophize and theorize about where do ethics come from and what are they and et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, how can you test that it is ethical to throw the lever versus it is ethical to not? In fact, that's honestly a possibility of where the distinction might be, that back in the olden days when we were talking about, it all used to come under the heading of philosophy, but for things that were more testable, they broke them off and said, oh, well, we can test whether this ball drops to the ground. It's harder to test if... I guess they didn't have the trolley problem back then. Whatever the ancient Greek equivalent was. The hoplite problem. Sure. No, that's Roman, actually. But what do I know?
Good job. Just mixing up cultures.
Okay. There were Roman philosophers, too. It's not
they just weren't as cool.
Sure. Okay.
Say take? I didn't hit it hard enough.
I wonder if it would be possible to, spin it so, I don't, because it would stay up, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Boy, you're working real hard for, 5 rupees in this treasure chest.
What I'm hoping is that, I need it to, do the other one, because I can't find the other thingy.
Well, you see, look on your mini-map, see those little orange lights? Those are where the other terminals are, and then you are... I think there's a little icon for you, right?
I'm this, right? I'm just current position terminal, but I don't see nothing.
Yeah, but... Well, see, you can move around on your map and see where you go. So, I think you can try to look your way for the other terminals.
There's one up here. I feel like there should be.
Look, there's one at the very tip of the trunk. See that little glowing dot at the...
Yeah. And so,
you...
the trunk is that way?
Look, the trunk is what's pouring the water in, so you have to figure out how to either get up there or lower the trunk so it's lying flat and then get out to the end of the trunk.
I see. Okay, maybe I just don't have good spatial.
This is definitely a very three-dimensional puzzle, which is
Yes.
cool if you're good if you like that, and not if you don't.
Anyway, I was gonna say like one thing. One of my least favorite philosophers, David Hume.
Ah, good old
guy.
Hume.
He made the claim that cause and effect aren't real. Don't exist. And he said, you have no proof. You can't prove to me that cause and effect are a thing. You could try, but like all I see is when you hit a billiard ball, one goes, then stops, and then another one continues moving, or starts moving. You can't show me that like the first ball caused the second ball. All you can observe is that the ball ran, stopped, and then the other ball continued, like started to move. You can't show me the connection. Only that that's what happened. Right. And so kind of like you were saying, like science could only claim as to what they observe. They couldn't claim, oh, well, there's something non-physical there. There is causation. Yeah. And so, but like we would, like, I don't know, to me, that's kind of irksome. I wanna, you know, slap Hume and say, yes, I can. Causation is a thing. But I can't. It's kind of hard. But if I could do it, I would want to make an experiment somehow to prove to him that, oh, no, obviously, there's a cause-effect relationship here. You can clearly see it. You're crazy, Hume.
Yeah, you know, Hume, your bad theories are what caused me to slap you in the face. You know, there is cause and effect.
Oh, I got an idea. Stay here, and then I'm gonna raise the trunk up. Okay. And then I'm gonna jump on this.
I'll try to ride up to the top.
Yep.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. I don't remember if that actually works, but we'll find out together.
No, no.
Hold on, it's a circle though, so it'll just make its
I
way
know.
around eventually.
I just wanted to do it on the first try. I wanted to be one of the cool kids.
It's okay. If at first you don't succeed, give up because you probably won't ever succeed ever. That's how that saying goes, right?
Yep. That's what my depression demon tells me.
Oh no, Justin, I was making a joke. Anyway. On that note, yeah. What else? I think we should also talk about. You brought up the idea of cause, right? So, we were talking earlier about one other thing you can talk about with science. For example, if you see a helicopter flying through the air, you ask, "Oh, what is that helicopter doing there?" The scientist answers, well, the rotating
No. The question is why? Why is there a helicopter?
Yes. Yeah, why is there a helicopter in the sky? The scientific answer is, well, a rotating blade causes air to move in aerodynamic ways to allow this thing that is heavier than air to fly up. And that's cool. Like, have you ever looked at the science of how heavier than aircraft work, like airplanes or helicopters? It's really cool that it's all based on lift and aerodynamics. But that is the scientist's answer. All right, I don't know about the philosopher, but a different question would be, well, no, that's how the helicopter is in the air. Why is the helicopter in the air? And the why answer would be, they're
looking for a criminal that's around your house right now.
Yes, exactly. And
so,
yeah,
I think, go ahead.
I was just gonna say both those answers are valid. Like, they're both true, and valid. But when you ask that question, it's just a question of making sure you ask the right questions, right?
Yeah, I think that we a lot of times, like, people look to science for questions that science really doesn't answer. I think we're seeing. I don't know how to phrase this. I think we're getting at the issue, and the issue here is that I think you're right. Science can only deal with what we can observe. It doesn't deal with non-physical phenomena.
Realities.
Yeah. And so questions of like why or like science never answers a why question. Like they do, scientists like will say like, oh, we did this because like
I don't know if it's gonna work.
I know, I thought it'd be clever. I thought I had a clever way of getting around it, but I do need to be up there. Oh, I think I know what I'll do. Okay. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be awesome at it.
All right, that's awesome. Awesomeness.
Nope. I'm gonna. No. Okay, I've got it. I'm gonna do it. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's how I'm gonna do it.
All right. I'll leave you to that.
So anyway, scientists answer why questions. We often like to try and like imagine they do like, oh, why are there hurricanes? All the science is gonna do is tell you how hurricanes form.
Yes, which
They're
is
not gonna explain like that. There's like a, I want to say deeper, but there's like, yeah, I guess deeper. No offense to scientists, sorry, Michael. But there's like a deeper question that we're looking for, and that's what philosophy tries to answer. It doesn't try to answer. Well, I guess you could say it doesn't try to answer why or how the billiard balls like affect each other, because you can see that it tries to explain why they affect each other the way they do, or if they do.
Yeah, and we should make it clear we're not trying to demean science here. Like the question of how are hurricanes formed, it's a really interesting question, and it can lead to applications that we would say are generally good. Like I don't think the technology exists now, but in theory, if we learn how hurricanes are formed, perhaps we could learn how to unform them, or at least how to direct them in a way that they won't hit human populations. And that's a good thing. Like that's really good. And I think the philosophers would agree, hey, if you can find a way to cause fewer humans to be injured or killed because of natural disasters, go for it. But
I mean,
so yeah.
Some of them probably wouldn't. They'd probably be like, nah.
Okay, Justin.
Hey, I'm just saying how it is. Okay, don't hate the player, hate the game.
All right, fair enough. But the point being, we're not trying to demean science here. It has its purpose, and it's a great purpose. It's just we need to make sure that it does have. We need to make sure we understand it has its limits. Within those limits, science is great at what it does, but it just can't go beyond them. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I think we've been leading up to this question sort of indirectly, but I think you might know where this is going. It's somewhat fashionable in some circles. I don't know if it still is strictly true, but I think it's somewhat fashionable to say, to talk about God in this way. Like, we don't need God. Science can explain how the universe was created. And
it can. It can explain
how. Yes. In some sense, yes. Although it's very funny. People usually use science to say, we don't need God. I've never heard anyone say, we don't need ethics because we have science. Like, people usually don't make that claim. I don't know why, but, well, actually, I do know why, because it's an uncomfortable implication, but...
it's a very uncomfortable implication. Like, you don't want to go there. Yeah. I got this. I made it up, okay? I'm proud of myself. I did it.
Yeah,
it took me like 10 tries, but I did it.
That's, there's the satisfaction of success. Hey, you got a spear.
Alright.
Alright, now where are you trying to go from here?
I don't know, I'm trying to see what this is.
Oh, hey, what happens if you step on this?
A waterfall.
Oh, I see, because now you have the waterfall armor, so anytime you want to get back up
I
here,
could just
easy.
climb up.
You could just, waterfall your way up.
I could just zip up. That's cool. Alright.
Okay, well, now that you're up here, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm just checking out, hidden gems, looking for that. I'm supposed to go down that hallway, I think, but I want to see if there's, like, I don't know, some, like, cool stuff up here, maybe?
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out all my options.
Fair enough.
You never know what you have to do in this world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. People don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation of, okay, well, we don't need ethics or anything. And I mean, some people, I think they're okay with it. Oh wait. Oh, now I know what I'm supposed to do. I guess I can do it while I'm in here. Now I have to lower the trunk.
Naruhodo. I see. So anyway, yeah. But that raises the question of, so we talk about, we don't need God because science can explain how the universe was created. In the one sense, we should also caution, science is not super good at looking at the past because science is all about doing experiments, and obviously you can't do experiments on something that's long past. But, that's another thing. Whenever you say, science says X happened 10,000 or a million or 10 million years ago, not really. Like, you can't really do experiments on that. You can maybe make inferences based on what we've seen today, and assuming everything was the same back then, and assuming things worked out. But that's not exactly science, because you can't experiment on the past. Is the problem. It'd be cool if we could, but don't think.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna challenge you on that. It's not necessarily that you need to do I don't think you need to be able to do experiments on the past to be able to do it. Like, I mean, you can, like you said, you can just make inferences based on what you see. Like, if I see...
That's been the whole point of our... See that? I think you have to shoot that little eye thing. See that?
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's been the whole point of our discussion, right? Inferences are not really... The point of science is what you can observe, and we can't observe the past. It's past. That's the point. So... You want to shoot it with a bow?
Yeah, that was what I was going for, but I realized I just threw my spear at it.
Well, why use a short-range weapon for a long range when you have long?
Well, I didn't intend to. I was trying to. I thought I had my bow.
So I was gonna say, don't jump off the trunk.
Yeah, I'm not going to. That would be bad, I think. Okay, I need to eat something.
Don't we all? Don't we all? It's almost lunchtime where I am. Actually past lunchtime, but whatever. Yeah, so that's the whole point I've been making, or we've been trying to make, right? Science is all about what you can observe and what you can experiment on, and by definition, you can't observe things that are already gone, are already past, and for the same reason, you can't observe the future. The idea of prophecy and foresight is usually that's in the realm of the supernatural, if it does exist at all. So. Again, those are outside of what science does, you know?
Well, like I was saying, like you can observe something now, and then because you observed it, you can know that's something in the past. Like for instance, like the wind. I can't see the wind, but I can see the effects of the wind. And so if I see a tree that was standing up yesterday, like it was standing up yesterday, and then I saw a storm where the tree was waving back and forth, and I wake up in the morning and the tree fell over. I can infer that the wind knocked the tree over.
Ah, right, but that's the key. You saw that the tree was up, and then you saw that the tree was down. Like, you effectively, not intentionally, but you did do an experiment on what happens when wind meets tree, and you were able to observe that experiment. Now, it wasn't the most refined or controlled experiment, but it was an experiment that happened in the present, essentially, right?
I suppose. Okay, fine. Let's say I hadn't seen a tree. I didn't see the tree
You've never
before.
seen a tree before.
No. I didn't see the tree before. That specific tree. Didn't see that tree. But then, I walk by and I see the trunk is split, or like the tree is like broken, and it looks all splintered at the base and everything. Just based on that, I can say, well, I know that wind happens. That's a thing, and that's something that happens. So seeing things that are constant, I can say, okay, well, I know that wind is a thing. And I know that when wind knocks things over, it does so violently. And so I can infer that, okay, the wind did this.
Trunk down.
I'm going to. I was just trying to think of the thought experiment.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I think I have to swim up.
I agree, but remember, did you make that's an inference. We've decided that's not all science is. Now, the scientific method would be you've seen this happen before. You've made an observation that you see a tree that is splintered. And then in the past, you've also observed that you've seen trees that are splintered, and you've also observed that trees are splintered, tend to become more splintered after a strong wind, right? Those are observations. That's when you form the hypothesis that, when a strong wind strikes a tree, it often knocks trees down or damages them. And then, if you wanted to be fully scientific about it, you would make the experiment that, okay, well, let's plant this tree and subject it to a high wind and see what happens. And then you would do that a few different times, with a few different trees, and that's how you would come up with your stronger theory that strong wind knocks down trees. So I'm not saying the inference that you see a knocked over tree and it's a wind. I'm not saying that's wrong, but keep in mind that's not. You're assuming it based on the science that has already been done, which that's another thing we didn't cover actually. It's quite valid to take science or to use the findings of other scientists and other experiments as bases for your own experiment. So you have seen, because humans have been living and performing sort of unofficial experiments on trees and wind for a long time, you can base that assumption off it, which is fair. But just bear in mind, if you wanted to be fully scientific about it, you'd have to set up some experiments of your own. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, what I was trying to say is that, like you were trying to say, like, okay, science can't explain, like, you can't perform experiments on the past. The only way to know like how the universe was formed would be able to perform experiments in the past. Therefore, scientists can't explain.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
okay.
You can't use science. You can't use only science to try to explain the past. You have to use inferences based on what we can observe, right?
Oh, okay. Then yeah, okay. I guess that's true.
That's what
so,
I'm
like,
trying to say.
for instance,
Sorry.
like
I might not have made that.
I thought you were
very clear in
going
my
somewhere where you were trying to say that like. Yeah, I thought you were trying to say that like basically, because we can't perform experiments in the past, like science can't explain like how the universe was formed.
No.
I thought that was your main. I thought that was what your argument. I was like, I'm gonna say no. You can use inferences, which is still a part. I would argue like reasonable inferences are still a part of science. That's fine. You can make reasonable. And
that, you know what? I think that might be where we're disagreeing because I don't think it is. Reasonable inferences spring from science, but I'm not convinced.
Isn't that the difference between like a theory and a law?
No,
like, gravity is only a theory, right?
That's the difference between a hypothesis and a theory. Yeah. A hypothesis is where, if I remember my science from 8th grade correctly, a hypothesis is where you make a claim based on observation. A theory is once you've done controlled experiments to confirm or deny that hypothesis. And then a law is basically a subset of theory where so many scientists over so much time, over multiple experiments have all come up with results that resoundingly confirm the theory. People are say, all right, we'll call it a scientific law. Can you swim up the waterfall?
See why I wouldn't be able to. Is it only natural waterfalls? Is there some like caveat in the magic armor here that thou shalt only be able to climb up natural waterfalls?
Maybe it's too like spread out. Like most waterfalls you see are sort of like thick streams, and this is sort of all spray and stuff. I don't know.
That's disappointing because like I don't know how someone would get up there.
Is it? I think it might be inside the trunk. Can you go inside? So I don't see it on the outside of the trunk.
You know, I hadn't thought of that. I guess it could.
Maybe it is on the outside of the trunk. I don't know.
Well, I guess we can. Let's look at our mini map. It looks like it's like if it's like a circle, it's on like the outer rim of like the circle.
Yeah, but it looks like so. If you laid the trunk flat, it looks like it would be underneath it, which is inconvenient.
Yeah. You know, actually, it's not a bad idea. Let's try that. I think what I'm gonna try and do is like do some finagling. I might die. Well.
Oh hey, wait, maybe you can like paraglide down there. Like, cause yeah. This might be better because I remember you're having trouble climbing. Oh, no, I was gonna say paraglide all the way across to like the tip of the trunk.
Well, I was trying to, but I also didn't want to overshoot it.
Well, like, see, you can't climb this right now, so. I don't think. Yeah. You can't climb the. Typically in this game, the ancient Sheikah technology you can't. Climb. Like you know, in the shrines, you can't climb the walls. I think it's the same. You can't climb the stuff because it's too technologically advanced or something. I don't know.
Yada yada yada. Plot convenience.
It's for game balance, man. Give him a break. The fact that in Breath of the Wild almost any surface is climbable is pretty crazy, honestly. Like, how many games actually do that? Some modern games do, but how many games from 2017 and earlier can claim that close to every single wall was climbable?
Pretty cool. All right, here we go. I was here. Yeah. Okay. Try it again.
Yeah, so you just want to like send it all the way down. Where were we?
So I think you were saying how we disagree about what science can and can't do.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. And what I'm saying, science alone, by itself, without.
All right. It was when our inferences are a part of science.
Yeah. Which I think they are, but they are not the entirety of science. You can't say, "Oh, I've made an inference, therefore I'm all done." No, you missed. Well.
What? I've definitely swam in that water before. That's some nonsense right there.
But it respawns you up
oh,
here,
hey,
so
cool. So I'll just do that from now on. I'll just die. It's way
just
faster.
Die.
It's way faster.
Death is faster than swimming. Gotta fly forward, yeah.
Okay, I did it. Whew. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
so...
Alright, now I should... Oh, I know what I'll do. I can lift the trunk a little bit.
Ah,
And then
clever.
I'll be on top of it a little bit. Just a little boop. Little boop on the snoot.
And then I think it's like around... Yeah, like go to the other side of this mountain. It's like... Yeah, I think that's it. But I don't think you can... I think you have to lift it up again.
Yep, I'm gonna. The thing is, I don't want to fall. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this one notch at a time. It's moving.
Okay.
Probably moving.
I think you can maybe go like notches. Oh yeah, there you go. Moving. Right. Science. Yeah. What science did the people in the game use to?
No. Okay, cool. Oh, there's a wall.
Oh, you're fine. So yeah, no, just lift it up and you're fine.
Over here trying to...
The devs have your back. They know what's up. They're not gonna make you fall off.
I really thought they were gonna try and make me have to like go over like really carefully. Nope. All right, here we go. So yeah, I my point is that like you can use inferences and that can be sufficient to me.
You're nearly there.
I'm trying to think of like a concrete example that I could give you that would like show what I mean.
Yeah, please do. Because that's what I'm saying. In science world, that's not, in my opinion, that's not enough. In philosophy world, since inferences are often all we have, that it has to be enough. But you should just be able to paraglide, yeah.
Where do I want to land?
Where's the
Oh,
last...
what's this?
Oh, is that it up there? That might be a chest.
I don't care what it is, I want it.
Fair enough.
Oh, ow, that hurt. Guess I gotta kill that thing first. So, okay, I agree that, like, I think I get what you're saying with, like, it's not usually enough. But, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like, I feel like the wind is a really good example. If I know the constant thing happened because I saw the effects of it, then I could infer it. So, like, for instance, trying to do the Big Bang Theory. We can see, like, the universe is expanding, and we know current laws of physics and how, like, things expand. And so we could say, oh, well, the universe is expanding now, and we can see markers of, like, oh, there's evidence that it was expanding at this rate at this time, because that's the only way you would have this effect. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. I see what you're saying, but I'm still getting hung up on the fact, like, it would be very helpful if we could test other possibilities. Like, okay, here we go. That's the thing. Well, what you're talking about with Big Bang Theory, we're seeing the result and we're trying to backlog and find the cause, right?
Yes.
Which is fine. That we have to do that a lot of times, but keep in mind, yeah, no, that's true. That is what most science is. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
Ooh, ice arrows. Okay.
That's pretty nice.
Alright. Oh, there's another one! I think. Maybe. I don't know. But we're looking for the head. Which is here.
The head should be on the same side as the trunk, right? Like the trunk comes out of the head?
Yeah.
I see. So you're like above it right now. So you need to like...
I need to be like here. I'm going after this one because this one's the main one.
Yeah,
so
that's like the central one you have. So I think if you like paraglide down and then fly forward, you can get there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where I need to land.
Yeah.
Try landing here. Oh, look at that.
Oh, is that where you need to go?
I don't know.
Oh.
This is where I want to go. What? Oh, maybe. I think so. Oh, look, there's a thing that wants to kill me.
Oh. And look, gears. I think
gears.
The magnet gear. Like, or see that, like the handle straight across the way.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to get the. Gotta get the
and
eye.
There's also fire down there, which is interesting.
Not scary in any way, shape, or form.
Good. Yeah, you got him.
Oh, I guess if I kill it, those die too. Cool. All right. Let's not fall into the fiery pits.
Fire doom.
Is there another? No, okay, no, I guess it just didn't go anywhere. Cool. Alright.
I think if you magnet, I don't know. That one. Yeah, that's a good point.
You don't know what we're talking about.
I'm
here,
still.
do you? I feel like we lost the train of thought.
We did, yes, we did. We have been definitely talking more about the game in this episode than we have in the past because I don't know.
I mean,
think the Divine
it's
Beasts are quite fun.
No. There we go.
Now. Okay, so you're basically opening this up, right?
I think so.
All right.
Oh, and then I can put the fire out with the trunk.
Big brain time. Big brain time.
Big brain. I don't know if that's enough to have it open though. Oh no, I guess it's saying. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
it's,
Now I just need to figure
it's
out. So there's
probably
more
just
here.
all the way up, right?
No, because all the way up puts it like over there. Oh, I think it's
see.
too far.
So less icy. That's too
Oh no, don't fall.
Okay, don't fall
Yeah,
on fire.
I need less.
So like that far.
Yeah. Sorry there.
A little more, I think. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, look at that.
Big brain. Look at the big brain on Brad.
You should just be able to go down there. Now, the water goes away when you activate the terminal. It's kind of funny.
I guess.
Just one terminal remaining.
Yeah, alright, now you should be able to go down to the central one. And, pro tip, Justin, I'm gonna say, save before you go down to the central one.
Oh, hey, I don't know why that would be a...
I don't know why either. Just, just a thought. We're probably getting close to the end of the discussion. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
think this is the end. I'm just gonna go down, open it, and then before I kill Ganon,
Yeah.
That'll
So
be next week's episode.
I think
look at that.
I think what we want to leave you. Oh, yeah, that's very nice. What we just want to leave with is, I think we can definitely say, science is very interesting, has a lot of useful applications, but we have to be careful not to try to use science for the things it can't be used for. So typically, anything that's not supernatural or that's not natural and not observable, usually outside the realm of science. And if you try to apply science to it, you'll end up with either not get a result or end up with a very imprecise or not useful result. If that makes sense.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So
I'm just healing up before I'm gonna save again.
No reason.
No reason.
Yeah. Thought out of the way. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you want to perform an experiment, a scientific experiment, in fact, on what happens when you press the subscribe button, do so. That a really good way to do that experiment would be you see how our video is unsubscribed, and then when you click on it, you'll see what happened because it's an experiment. You can do the same thing for likes as well. And if you want to leave a comment about how you can infer that liking and subscribing to the video are good things because of ethical reasons, yeah, you can leave a comment about that too, or about anything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
one of these days, I will come up with a good way to relate, like, comment, and subscribe to the topic of the video. One of these days. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you
come back next week to see me kill Ganon.
Yep, Ganon. Maybe. Bye.